Our thoughts, prayers, and well wishes go out to the victims of the California fires as they rage uncontrollably due to bureaucracy and red tape. We all hope that the people who are displaced find new jobs and homes, and we hope that their families recover very soon. That should be everyone's response to the fires. Unfortunately, there are celebrities out there who have decided to make it all about themselves and spout the dumbest nonsense you have ever heard.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Airy. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. Sad but not surprising, a bunch of celebrities are using this opportunity to boost themselves, get themselves some publicity, and just to spout the most insane nonsense about the situation, being the California fires, that you could possibly imagine. If you follow this channel, you know that's not unusual. Celebrities tend to spout the most insane nonsense from their high horses, and they do this constantly. I decided to score the internet for the dumbest takes that I could find that celebrities have made. And let me tell you something, it was hard to sift through it, but I did manage to come up with these 5 celebrities who said the dumbest things about the LA and Pasadena and SoCal fires. Number 5, we have Mandy Moore. Now, apparently, her family home burned down in the fires, and my heart goes out to her and her family. But what does she do? Now, keep in mind, this is a millionaire celebrity, right? They could easily get a new home. She could fix it up. It's not a big deal for her. She's a millionaire. And like I said, I'm sad her home burned down and her family was displaced temporarily. But instead of saying, "Hey guys, be in prayer as we look for a new home. We're kind of displaced." And I think I heard that she moved in with Hillary Duff, they're friends or something. Good. But then she sets up a GoFundMe because she wants you, who probably makes not even 10% of what she makes in a year, she wants you to pay for her new home. Yeah, that's what Mandy Moore did. And to make matters worse, instead of just, shutting up, which would have been appropriate for this celebrity, instead she attacked her critics, said, "Go F yourself," and just made the situation so much more worse. It's truly disappointing because you always think of Mandy Moore as sort of one of the grounded celebrities, but in this sense, she did the most ridiculous thing you could possibly imagine. She's out there trying to get her fans to raise money for her. So she's either not as wealthy as she purports to be, or this was just one of the most out of touch moments in this celebrity's life. Number 4, we have Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, I tend to like Jamie Lee Curtis. She is a very talented actress. No one can deny that. However, she's a moron on this issue. I believe it was during a panel she was doing promoting one of her new movies. She was asked about the LA fires, and what does she proceed to do? Compare it to Gaza. Now, listen, I'm not going to say anything about what's going on in Israel or with Gaza. I just hope the hostages get home. But to use people, Americans, who she is an American, but then to use their pain to promote her pet political stance, that's embarrassing. It's shameful and it's disgusting. Shame on you, Jamie Lee Curtis. That was one of the most out of touch I have ever seen a celebrity be. It is no comparison. And I'm sure even the people in the Middle East would agree with me on that. The people in that region would agree with me that an American celebrity is trying to compare a conflict between two groups of people to these LA fires where Americans are getting displaced. How shameful. She owes every single person affected by these fires an apology. No cap. I am so tired of these celebrities trying to use tragedies that happen to their own countrymen to pet on their little political stance. "Oh, look at me. I'm so woke. I can say this." Oh my gosh, what an absolute freak and moron. Number 3. Now, this was a contender for number 2, but I've decided that the appropriate number 2 one worked in that slot. But number 3 is Bill Burr and Jimmy Kimmel. These two morons sit on Jimmy Kimmel's studio. He's the least funny late night host on TV right now. They're all not funny, but he is the least. He's always crying. That's what he does. He just cries. He doesn't even do monologues. Remember when he cried over some lion no one gave two craps about, that got hunted in some big game hunt? He's like, oh, Cecil the lion. He didn't even know who Cecil the lion was until he went out on that stage. Come on, spare me, Jimmy crying Kimmel. He's interviewing Bill Burr, who I used to have a lot of respect as a comedian because his comedy, it was really funny, and he sort of avoided the political correctness. But now, what does he and Jimmy Kimmel do? They sit down and they start attacking the critics of how the fires have been handled. Now remember, these both of them are in New York at this time, and they are sitting there and they're mocking how people are criticizing the response. Men, I'm sorry, boys, there are victims out there. You think that they think that the response was good? Whole houses have burned down. Some of them are your colleagues in the entertainment industry. And what are you doing? You're criticizing people who are criticizing the relief effort. Shame on you, sirs. You two should be embarrassed by this, and you owe every single victim an apology, just like I said with Jamie Lee Curtis. You get to sit up in some New York studio, laughing it up, yucking it up, and then you get to say, oh, no, it's not really about the victims. It's about the criticism of the response. Golly, I am so sick of these celebrities on their high horse, and especially Jimmy Kimmel. Like I said, one of the worst Oscar hosts, one of the worst late night hosts, and then Bill Burr, who has been a major disappointment. It is absolutely embarrassing, and ABC should immediately end Jimmy Kimmel's contract over this. Yes, that is how intense I am when it comes to my anger. Those two boys making it all about the criticism of the response. How dare you, sirs? No one in power is above criticism, especially Gavin Newsom and Mayor Bass and the fire chief of LA, or former LA fire chief. They are not beyond scrutiny. How dare you, sirs? ABC, you should fire Jimmy Kimmel immediately. All right, number 2, and this is another reason why I debated whether the Kimmel Burr interview should be in the slot, because this is another one where instead of speaking truth to power over what's going on in California, Jon Stewart instead went after the critics, just like Kimmel and Burr, and that's why there was a little bit of a debate. What pushed Stewart into number 2 is he told the critics where they could go. He told them to F off. No, sir, we will not F off. Mayor Bass, she was jet setting, traveling the world after she promised on the campaign trail that she would not, by the way. But no, she was jet setting, playing fiddle in Africa while her citizens' homes were burning to the ground. People have died because of this woman's incompetence and her appointments. And then Stewart was like, why are they making it a big deal about whether the LA fire chief is a lesbian? The fire chief made it a big deal. She was doing TikToks and interviews and videos and saying, I'm a proud member of the LGBTQ community. She made it a big deal, Stewart, not us. And she deserves every single I'm glad the mayor fired her, but the mayor needs to be fired as well. So does Gavin Newsom. There are fires every year in California, and this one got out of control because Gavin Newsom sent a reservoir water into the ocean. And you know who didn't stop him? Mayor Bass. It's incompetence on the next level. And so for you to sit there in your little Comedy Central studio and to say, F off, don't criticize them, sir, shut up. I miss you when you were actually funny. I don't know why you retired being funny, where now you just want to pretend like you're this intellectual who knows all things, and I'm going to spout out my philosophy, but then also added a lot of F words so you know that I'm still a comedian. You know what? No, no. They deserve every single criticism thrown their way. You are part of the problem, Mr. Stewart. You should hold them responsible. But you're not going to, because you want access. You want to be invited to deliver little bits at DNC meetings and at LA city councils and be filmed doing it. You can go to their charities and donate and make a big deal about it. Oh, you want to go with them on the high life? Disgusting. Number one, and there is no question that these two belong on number one, and that's Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. These two tragedy tourists descended on from Montecito and started touring places in Pasadena. They were giving one woman a hug. Who do they think they are? For one thing, Prince Harry is a foreign national. How did he get access? Just because he has the title Prince? He should not be allowed anywhere near that, especially with all the talk of his visa possibly being a fraud. There's no way he should have been allowed there, much less Meghan Markle, a C-list celebrity who's just walking around and they have their little masks on and they're surveying the area. Those people who owned those homes or rented those homes, they weren't allowed to return. They weren't allowed to go see if their photo albums survived or if their pets were still alive or whatever the case may be. But no, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle gets to walk around. Look how important we are. We get to check out this area. Look at us. Oh, I'm going to hug someone. It was abhorrent and it was disgusting. I am really sick, especially of someone like Meghan Markle getting on her high horse and having this smug sense of self importance where she can just babble on and all of this. It is absolutely ridiculous that they were allowed in there. You can hear my vocabulary coming out. I've said they're all smug. I've said they're all ridiculous. They're all scum. Yes, all of that is true. Absolutely abhorrent behavior by all of these celebrities. I honestly hope that the backlash from this will teach them a lesson, but they won't because they're so narcissistic. They're just going to say, oh, the normies just don't understand what it's like. Oh, I have it so rough because I'm a celebrity. Oh, shut up. I'm really sick of that. Stop with your classism and your elitism. Give me a freaking break. So, those were my top five. What were yours? Let me know in the comments section below. And I really hope that Gavin Newsom gets recalled. I lived in the state while he was governor. It was becoming a hellscape. Let me just say that. He has such poor managerial skills. And Mayor Bass, she is no better than Mayor Garcetti. And I hope that the two of them, Newsom and Bass, I hope the Californians wake up and remove them from power, especially after this disaster. Thank you so much for watching today. If you liked that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment to what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. If you would be so kind, head on over to my website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where there are no ads and it's totally free. You just input your email or subscribe through the WordPress app, and you get all kinds of articles, at least one a day, about television, film, anime, novels, and so much more. And like I said, it's totally free. You're not going to miss a single article. If you want to support the work that I do, head to my locals community. The link is in the description of this video. You can sign up for a monthly subscription or send my articles tips. I publish exclusive articles just for my locals community, and also that's where I publish my short stories. Speaking of stories, I have books out. I've got the supernatural thriller Cacophony. It is about a group of demons sent to destroy a small Texas town, but God sends a group of archangels to save it. I have my fantasy series, The Seven Royals. Book 1 is All Good Things. Book 2 is Breaking the Stars. It is about a group of your favorite fairy tale characters who have to stop a dark army from destroying their home, and they have to come together, but conflicts arise. This is book 1. This is book 2. Book 3 is on its way, and I'll have an announcement about it very soon. Last but definitely not least, I have Blessed Child. It is a life-affirming story about courage under fire. Basically, what happens is an elf princess discovers she is pregnant with a human child, sending the elven kingdom into chaos. Her father, the king of the elves, hires a disgraced knight to be her protector, but he's on the path to redemption. The two of them form an unlikely friendship as they navigate the turmoil that goes on around them. So definitely check this one out, check the others out, or all of them together, all four of them together, and leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.